Slani everybody, I am Corvus Bruxo Luggenikos and this is Taverna Solitary. This week we're discussing about when other people on the same path as you look down on you or your practices or for what you do. This is a tricky topic and I'm afraid I'm gonna get some hate on my take on it, because first, what does it mean that they're on the same path? I mean, I am a cultivarian polytheist. Are they cultivarian polytheists? My philosophy on cultivarianism is to be a reconstructionist, to be as historically accurate as possible. When someone looks down on the way I practice, if it's something specific and I'm claiming to do something objectively, like historically objective or something like that, I would double check that they're not wrong. This doesn't mean that I support people complaining about the way others practice, but the videos of Tara and Drew mainly focus on people just looking down on other people for the way they practice, like the way you practice it's not real. That's absolutely out of anything acceptable, of course. But if I'm claiming some historical accuracy or some knowledge of a deity and I'm mistaken about the way that my ancestors viewed him or did that, then I should check it and correct it if I'm claiming to do something historically accurate, unless I purposely changed it and I said that I purposely changed it. Now, once say that, as they stated, everyone's path is different, even if you're in a common or a tradition, and that's not something you can complain about. And when someone complains about it, what do? I ignore it, or if I can give knowledge to that person, I give it. But usually I just ignore them and go on with my life. And this is something that happens to me a lot. As a witch, not as a cultic polytheist, but as a witch, I consider myself to be eclectic within a cultural context. Why it is? Because I'm interested in the magical practices of Europe and particularly my country throughout different ages, and this means that this also spans through different religions. I want to see me as a witch as a result of all the cultural and religious and spiritual influences that there were in my land, my country, whatever. This means that this goes from the Paleolithic to past the medieval times, and this means that this spans from Paleolithic animism to Celtic religions, Iberian religions, Phoenicians, Greeks, Romans, Germanic paganism, folk Catholicism, Arabic cultures and Islam, Judaism, the Kabbalah, and of course Luciferianism and Satanism, because Christianity itself is way too orthodox for me to follow or to include it in a heterodoxical way. So my option to be close to Abrahamism is for Catholicism, and Satanism and Luciferianism is the other way in which I get close to Abrahamism, because I feel the values of Lucifer are better than that of God. And it's also my way to use mythological figures and deities or spirits in a way that is Abrahamic and that engage in that culture particularly, without accepting the crazy morals, in my opinion, of Christianity. And because of this, I get looked down a lot. I am told that I shouldn't believe in Lucifer, which is funny because Lucifer was first a Roman deity. That what I do is what makes people believe that witches are Satanists, which, I'm sorry, some witches are Satanists. I think that if the things that they're criticizing about our practice are supposed to be objective, to be historical or scientific in some way or whatever, we should check them out and be sure that they're not wrong. If they're wrong, you just ignore them. If they're right and you claim that historical accuracy or scientific background or whatsoever, then change it, correct yourself, improve yourself and your practice, and that's okay. If they're simply telling you that your way of practicing is incorrect, why? I mean, all that I'm saying is applied only if you claim some objective standing ground to your practice. If not, everybody practices differently. Traditions are renewed and new traditions are made as well, and if they're not part of your tradition, you're not getting away from the tradition. I mean, you can get away from a tradition if you want, but if you want to stick with a tradition, usually it is required of you that you follow the tradition. So if you're not in a if they're not in your same tradition, they shouldn't just speak, because objectivity or not, tradition is tradition. It doesn't need to make sense. And the way you practice, if it works for you, if it's functional for you, and you're not claiming, again, any objectivity of any kind, why is it their problem? If they don't like the way you practice, they can just not interact with you, and that's enough. And that's basically my take on people looking down on me for the way I practice, for the deities or the mythological figures that I choose to incorporate in my practice. If it's not your cup of tea, just walk away. You don't need to interact with me. Most of the people that are doing this are internet people, and they're not important to me. I'm not important to them, and I don't know why they're trying to pick up some kind of fight over the way I practice. I never said the way I practice is the way. Of course, and as Drew said, we're human and we are flawed, and of course I probably also did this that I'm complaining about and against, especially with the thing of respect towards the culture that you engage with for your practice. I mean, I can accept that people use deities from different pantheons and stuff, but I think there is a cultural background, either that culture or not, I don't care, in which you should respect it and you should know everything about it, and once you know everything about it, you take out of the context the figure to include it in your practice without the rest of the culture or mythology or whatever. But it's out of respect that one should do this. Respect to the culture, even if you don't believe in the gods as literal beings. I think getting pantheons out of context is as bad as getting minority cultures, customs out of context, and that's usually called cultural appropriation. So this is as well, and I'm very critical with that. Not to eclecticism, I was, but not now. But it's just due to the respect that people give. If you give respect, I don't give two shits about what pantheons do you use, what cultural customs you're including in your practice, or from what cultures. Respect to me is unavoidable for me to respect what you do. Once past that, it's none of my business what you do. And that's as far as I go, and that's as far as I accept people to criticize my practice. Do your thing, and if it works for you, it works for you, it's great, keep on doing it. And if they're complaining too much, if they're trying to harass you or bully you, it's because they're not practicing that much as they say, so don't worry, they will fall on their own weight. And yeah, that's all. I hope that I explained myself properly, because explaining myself properly, it's possible that I get a lot of hate on my take on this. If I didn't explain properly, then I will get even more hate, because it would seem like I accept that the people are harass other people on their practice, and that's not what I said. Let's get this clear as a summary of everything I said. It's okay to respectfully tell people that their objective ideas are wrong, if they are wrong. It's not okay to cloud or look down on people because the way they practice, if they don't claim this objective way of practicing. Objective way of practicing is not that they right or wrong on the ontological existence of their practice, their gods or whatever. It's that they claim, for example, to do something traditional to a certain culture, and it's not like that, for example. And yeah, that's the summary of everything I said. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. And yeah, we'll see each other next Wednesday. Bye!